What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today we have another update for Diablo 2 Reimagined 2.0. There is a new preview build that has come out, and we're going to go over some of the patch notes for that. A lot has stayed the same, but there has been quite a bit of updates. So let's go ahead and get into those patch notes so that you guys can have a better idea of what to expect when we finally get to Diablo 2 Reimagined 2.0. Probably sometime in January, at least I'm hoping. I've been hearing that they're going to open it to the public for the test builds pretty soon here. So the more people that they have actually testing it, the better the game will end up being. And they are asking for feedback. So anybody that wants to go ahead and test this version of the game, all you have to do is interact with the Discord. I'm pretty sure you have to become a supporter at the moment. I don't remember what the prices are, but I'm pretty sure $5 you can actually go ahead and start testing the game now. Don't quote me on that because I'm not actually affiliated with those guys or anything, but that's just off the top of my head what I remember. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the changes, shall we? Okay, so here we are looking at the new patch notes for Preview 3, and right off the bat, they are talking about something that's going to be very, very important for you guys to actually be able to play the mod. I'm going to show you how to do this, and whenever 2.0 is finally released, I will probably go ahead and, I don't want to say I'll make a tutorial video about it, but it'll just be like a quick 30-second video or something like that, just to remind you, so that way if you don't know how to do this, you'll understand how to do this, because this is very important. So as you can see on the top here, it says save and mod directory paths have been changed to Reimagined, needs to be advised for 2.0 testing and final release. Now, what they're talking about is when you first install Diablo 2 Reimagined, I know a lot of people already understand this, but there will be people that don't know how to do this. So first, let me move myself over here because I'm doing this in Streamlabs. So if I move up here, you can see I am now up top here. I have this right here. It was being covered by my webcam. But what you want to do is, if you already have Diablo 2 Reimagined installed, you're going to right click on the shortcut on your desktop. You're going to go over to properties. You're going to go over to shortcut. And then right here, do you remember doing this right here? I know it's a little hard to see because the screen is small. On the target, where it says target, where it has Diablo 2 Resurrected /d2r.exe. At one point, you had to change this to -mod merged -text. You're going to need to change that now to Reimagined. So where it says merged, you're going to want to delete that and type in Reimagined, and then also hit OK and apply when you get there. Otherwise, the game will not be able to actually run the mod. So this is very important. Please don't forget to do this. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of people straight up forget to do this or not even know how to do it. And again, it really isn't that hard, and I will go ahead and make a video when the time is right just to show people to make sure that they can do this so that they can actually play the game. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move me back down here. And actually, really quick, if anybody's wondering, if you don't have the shortcut, then all you got to do is just go over to your install folder, like so. Open file location, here we are. And then what you would want to do is, let me move this down here so that the camera's not blocking it, is normally you have a D2R.exe in your game files. You would just want to right click that, and then what you want to do is you want to create a shortcut. I'm not going to go through it right here because I'm pretty sure you understand this. So you just create a shortcut that puts it up onto your desktop and then do everything I just told you about. So I apologize for that, but I just want to get that out there because I know it's going to be an issue for people. So let's go ahead and try to counteract that and prevent it from even happening now. So let's continue on. Gameplay changes. Level cap increased from 99 to 100. I think we talked about that last time. But yes, once again, it is up to 100 now. Experience scaling from 80 to 99 rebalance to levels 95 to 100. So hitting the penultimate cap is still a commitment. So it pretty much just means that we're gonna have to go a little bit harder in order to get up to that max level, which none of us really mind. I do like this only because it's always been kind of a prestige thing, right? To actually hit level 99. And now that we can go to level 100, it would be nice to be able to make that a thing again, where people that are 100 are people who are actually putting in the time and the effort to get there. Personally, I really wish we could actually raise this a little bit. Maybe put it up to like level 125 or something like that. I think that'd be really cool, but we're not there yet. I guess we'll see what happens. Hopefully that is something that can get changed in the future. Terror Zone, no change. Hell level increase, no change. Character stat, no change. Monster specifics, all difficulties, no change. Normal only changes. Nerfed Isuel's HP in normal. He had more than Diablo for some reason. Wow, yeah, why did Isuel have more HP than Diablo in normal difficulty? But I can't really say I'm surprised, because I've always felt like the hardest part of Act 4 was just getting to Diablo, and then by the time you get to Diablo, you just kind of smash him in the face a few times and he just is down for the count. So I kind of like it, I guess. I kind of don't at the same time, because it doesn't really matter. I mean, yeah, it'll be easier for us to get to Diablo, but if anything, maybe they need to give Diablo more HP, because Diablo's a joke, isn't he, guys? He's a straight up joke in Act 4. All right, but let's continue. Nightmare only changes, no change. Hell only changes. Reduced the damage bonus for archers in Hell, revamp, as they were already deadly. Yeah, that's true. I don't think that the archers really need to be any more powerful. Archers and quill volleys kill me all the time in Hell difficulty, especially before I go up there in level. I freaking hate the quill beasts, those quill rats, man. If we could just get rid of those in general, I would be pretty freaking happy, man. That'd be great. But let's move on. Now, obviously, there has not been many changes up here, but we do have some stuff to look into, so I would keep watching if you're interested in all. So let's jump over to item balancing. General changes. Sunder charms have been reintroduced into the game, and that is something I am actually happy about. A lot of times people would just tell me to get good when I would bitch and complain about this, but I would bitch and complain about this quite a bit, and I was bitching and complaining about this when they said that they were going to make Hell even more difficult, because I'm like, man, like, we can't even really break immunities that well, so like, why are you doing this? Well, here's our answer: because we're actually getting the Sunder charms back, which is great. Now, the way it was before is no matter what, there would always be that 1% of resistance that you could break through on the monsters. But now it's going back to the way it was vanilla, I believe. And I'm sure somebody will correct me if that's wrong. Please do, feel free. But it is actually going to go back to the way it was before, where we actually had like straight up immunes in Hell. Whereas before, there was always a way to get by that. Well, we're not going to be able to do that anymore unless we have Sunder charms. So I am actually really happy to get those back, especially because, man, in the inventory, every time I would get a charm and it was like all green, my mind like wants it to be a Sunder charm. So whenever I would see that it's just like poison res of 30% and maybe some poison damage, I'm like, why the hell is this a green charm? And we do have something to talk about with the charms when we get there that I'm really not that excited about. I think this will be divisive too. Either you'll love it or you'll freaking hate it. So continuing on, we have reduced outstanding max resistance / max all res on all items. So resistances have actually been reduced on most items. Well, according to this, on all items. So that is something right there that is also going to lend to making this game a little bit more difficult. Multiple experience % sources have been reduced. So in the past, where we could stack crazy amounts of experience bonuses, we won't be able to do that now. And obviously that's just to change the game a little more to make it take us longer to actually get up to level 100, because before you could easily get to level 99 in less than a week, man. Especially if you're like a degenerate gamer like me. you would be level 99 way too fast. Like, I wasn't even playing the game full time and I was level 99. So what's that tell you? Reduced many outstanding elemental absorb percentages. So that's also been reduced. So as you can see, we're getting nerfed. Replaced all time-based attributes with flat values. Again, another nerf. Removed/replaced stats on armor items that had both enhanced defense and min max. I don't really know how I feel about that one. Let me read that again just for my own mental well-being. Removed/replace stats on armor items that had both. So they don't want. Wait. So it's removed/replace stats on armor items that had both enhanced defense and min max. So I'm assuming that means some things will no longer be able to have both, which kind of sucks. And again, just trying to make the game harder. Okay, updated weapon scaling from strength/dex. Most two-handers are improved to 100 to 150, which is, that's cool. Many dex-heavy weapons that only had strength scaling now have 25 to 75 dex scaling. All right, so again, another nerf in a way. I guess that might be able to help you a little bit in specific circumstances, but those circumstances are so niche that I don't know if it would ever really matter. Here we go. Added charm weight activation, all weapons and shields. More on this in charm changes below. Okay, I thought we were about to get into it, but I guess not. But don't worry, we do have something to talk about with that, and that's going to be fun. Gem changes. Gem qualities consolidated. Amethyst, topaz, sapphire, and blah, blah, blah. You guys know what the gems are. Gem drops starting from Act 2 normal still require level 18 to use. So they're not going to lower the cap on that, which is fine. I don't think anybody really cares about that specifically, because you're low level for such a small amount of time that it really isn't going to matter. Gem drop chances have been reworked to make them easier to find in normal, slightly less frequent in nightmare, and less frequent in hell, which is probably fine too, because by the time you get to hell, you already most likely have way too many gems in your gem bag that you will never freaking use. Gem bag has been reworked and now accepts all gems of universal credit, max storage of 65,000. So it sounds like what they're doing is, instead of it being a credit for each one, like each kind of gem, you can only have a certain amount of gems. And before it was like 255. So you could have 255 credits of diamonds, 255 credits of amethyst, yada yada, continuing on and on and on. But now it's going to be universal, and that universal rate is going to be capped at 65,000 credits. So that's as far as we can go, which is still great. Me personally, I always had more gems bags, but people would tell me all the time that you could actually keep putting stuff in there, I guess. I don't even know if this is really true, but I was always told you can actually just continue to put things into the gem bag even after you hit that cap. But it never worked for me, so I'm not exactly sure if maybe that's just a me thing or something, but yeah. Gem color updated to turquoise, different from other items, no more rainbow effects. Okay. Don't really matter, not really that important. Gem bagger has been removed for outdated qualities. Variant 35 to greater than 7. Okay. So has it been removed and replaced, or has it been removed in total? Well, let's keep reading and find out. Gem grabber retrieves a single appropriate gem limited by cube main. Okay, so we still have them. They just had to fix something on it, I guess. Various Herodic Cube recipes that used inferior gem qualities have been removed/updated and or removed entirely, given their infrequent use. For example, 35% rejuve now requires 1 HP, 1 mana, 1 gem. Full requires 3 HP, 3 mana, and 1 gem. Okay, so I mean, it's a little bit easier to make some rejuvenation potions, I suppose. Gem shrines have been removed as their existing behavior is hard-coded. Okay, so it looks like they couldn't have actually fixed it unless they were able to hard-code the game to, match with the mod, which I know they can't do. And they've been talking about there's a lot of things that they actually can't do with the game solely because they can't hard code things. So it doesn't surprise me that they would actually remove something that needed to be hard coded because they just didn't want to F with it. So they probably just were like, fuck it, just take it out so we don't have to deal with it. Gem stacks have been removed for now. That is totally fine with me. I never even used them. Pending feedback on overall gem rework / gem bag changes. Yeah, we don't really need gem stacking. So just take them out of the game, man. Like, I don't think anybody gives a fuck if we have gem stacking in the game or not when we have the gem bag, so screw it, right? I mean, is it just me? So we have some reworks here on rune words. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Enlightenment Reimagined is now Lum Sir plus elemental skill reduced to +2 and plus PDR reduced to 10%. Okay, Grief rune word normal damage reduced to +250 to 300. Whereas before it was 340 to 400. I wonder why they did that. I'm really curious to know why they would have done that. Huh. Bake it or Delgus, man. Like, if you're watching right now, can you tell us why you guys wanted to lower the damage on Grief? Especially if you guys are upping the difficulty? I'm not exactly sure. Humility rune word, skill level reduced. Okay. Loyalty rune word, all res reduced from 100 to 40 to 50. Ouch. That is a huge nerf, man. These guys are really serious about making this game way harder, aren't they? I'm sure a lot of people are probably jumping up and down right now, being like, oh great, we want the game to be harder. But when it comes to like those dads that can only play for 2 hours, I feel so bad for those guys right now. And I would not blame them at all for not being excited about this and probably not even going to play this version of Diablo 2 Reimagined. I think you guys might want to rethink that because I guarantee you there's going to be quite a bit of people that don't even want to play simply because of that right there. But then again, you can always, you know, if you know what you're doing in terms of files, you can go in there and you could just change character stats and make it so that you have like 100 points per character level. So, but not a lot of people are going to know that. Sorry for my little rant there. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there that I can totally see those 2-hour dads being like, bro, this sucks, I'm not playing it. Shadow of a Doubt rune word is now IO Dole. Okay, I really hope they reflect this on the website too, by the way, because this is going to piss some people off if they're making these changes to what runes we're using to make specific rune words, right? Or what new rune words have been introduced and people don't even know that they exist. Yeah, so please, I'm begging you guys. Like I said in my last video, if you don't want to do it, give me the power. I will effing change it. I don't know how it's done, but man, like, just sit me down. I will change it for you because it is so annoying to go to the website and try to look at these rune words and they're either out of date or they're non-existent. So please, for the love of God, fix that, guys. If I could get one thing across, it would be please, 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 God, please fix that. That needs to be fixed like yesterday. All right, so Siren Song rune word is now Lem Shell Sir. Max Manum bonus reduced. Wow. Okay. War rune word is now IO Hell Pull. Hammer / club / maces now share the same rune words. Showed mace on website. Oh, okay, so whatever is showing on the website as mace, you can now put in hammers, clubs, and maces. So that's cool. I don't really know why that wouldn't have been the way it was originally, but I guess it wasn't like that. So moving on, we got uniques. Constricting ring all res reduced from 100 to, again, here we go again. This is just a heads up, everybody. We are reducing all resistances for you and making resistances for monster way higher. And this also kind of sucks when you think about it, as even though we get Sunder Charms, the thing about Sunder Charms that I feel like a lot of people don't take into consideration is, well, as long as the Sunder Charms work the way they do in vanilla, I should say, is when you have a Sunder Charm and it says, like, we'll just throw a number out there, negative 80%, right, for monster elemental resistance, that it works on you as well. It works on the player as well. So the player, say you have 80% fire resistance, and you get a Sunder Charm that's negative 80% fire resistance. Now you, the player, not only the monster, have 0% fire resistance. So this can really become a thing here where obviously, yes, we did get Sunders back, but if they work the way they did in vanilla, it's still going to be really hard for us to actually utilize that. Overlord Helm, faster cast rate is reduced from 25 to 15. Boo. I don't like it. Anytime you take faster cast rate and reduce it, with me being a caster, I'm instantaneously going to hate it and ask myself, dear baby Jesus, what am I doing with my life? And mana level from 8 to 4. Okay. Huge nerf there on that. Shattering Blows, Crushing Blow, and Deadly Strike are now a flat 15%. The Vanquisher's increased attack speed reduced from 25 to 20%, and its plus maximum damage has been removed. Jesus. Thor's Bolt's level requirement increased from 26 to 70. Oh man, ouch. I guess that makes sense, because that is a really powerful item. But, well, yeah, I suppose it makes sense. I'll just leave it at that. I guess it makes sense. Alright, so sets. Imperial sets, negative enemy resistances, have been split amongst the set bonuses, 20% per piece. Okay, so I guess you have to get more of the Imperial set to actually utilize that resistance right there. Yeah, so again, just making things even harder. Blood Raven's concentration aura removed from set bonus to bow. Ouch. I mean, I would never use that anyways, but if I was an Amazon, I might consider using it. So, rip Amazons, I guess. Feel bad for you guys. Knight's Gallant Salvation aura replaced with equivalent all res. Oh man. So you guys took Salvation aura off of it and just replaced it with all res. Okay, that's fine with me. Doesn't really affect me, so not a big deal. So charms, here's something interesting that we need to talk about. Charms have a weight system activated by weapon and offhand to restrict the number of charms placed in the main inventory. Do you understand what this means? So let's go ahead and let me get into that in a minute here. Small charms weigh 1, large charms weigh 2, and grand charms now weigh 3. And it includes the unique charms. If you reach a charm weight of 41 or more, then your maximum mana is set to 0. You can check weight in advanced stat panel. You know what? Let's do a little experiment, guys, really quick. Let me log into D2R real fast so we can see how many boxes are actually in the inventory, so that we can see how bad that is going to be. Because I personally think that sucks. I'm pretty sure the meta for Diablo 2 for a very long time has always been put as many charms into your freaking inventory as possible, which is pretty effing annoying. And I hate it, but it is what it is. And I don't see it changing unless they could give us some kind of charm stash. But my assumption is that's probably hard-coded too. They probably can't just give us a charm stash, right? And then the charms still work as long as they're in that stash. I just have a feeling that it's hard-coded and they wouldn't be able to do that. So let's go in here and see how many charms you can actually carry if it's set to 41. Maybe I'm overreacting here a little bit. So let's just go ahead and count up the spots. Okay, I'm in game. All right, so I will count this and then edit it and come back. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna start counting and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So this is 10. Every line equals 10. All right, so we got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So theoretically here, if we only had small charms, right? You could only put from here to here, because that's 40, and then one more right here. So our new window for charms is now going to be, it looks like basically the way it was in original Diablo 2, because in original Diablo 2 your inventory was like maybe up here and down, or it might have been right here and down. But long story short, right here at this point, this line and down is as many charms as you can now have, and that's it. So that's really gonna force you to either find immaculate, amazing charms, or to put whatever the hell you have and just hope you have enough going forward. We will no longer be able to fill all of this up with charms. It's not happening anymore. So that kind of sucks. I see both sides of this argument. Me personally, I don't like that at all. I really am not digging that, only because, man, I don't know about anyone else, but I would always fill most of this up with skiller charms, right? I'd feel like, you know, one the skills, one the skills, one the skills, one the skills, and put as many as I could in here just to make my character even more powerful. So this is just another example of them trying to find new ways, right, to really nerf the players so that the game is much, much more difficult. So, I mean, I guess on the other hand, though, it's cool because now you will be forced to make sure that you go out and actually look for charms. So now when charms drop, at a certain point when charms drop, none of us really care and we just let them sit there on the ground. But it's not going to be like that anymore. Now when charms drop, we are going to need to pick those up, and we're going to need to look at those because we are going to need the best charms we can possibly find. So in a way it's cool because it makes an otherwise useless charm on the ground a little bit more important. And it also gives you a reason to actually save that charm if it is good. And so you can put on another character in the future, as long as we're not having any more of these issues with the saves. Because unfortunately, guys, we are not going to be able to carry over our saves into the next version of Diablo 2 Reimagined. Yes, so originally it looked like we were going to be able to do it. And I have actually been able to do it while I was testing the game. But because there's so many things that are going to be game breaking, I guess the plan now is you can't do it and you're going to start all over. Which we're all used to that. If you've been playing D2 for any amount of time, if you are a hardcore Diablo 2 player, you've probably done that at least 100 times. But just so you know, any cool thing you have found up to this point will now go away once you upgrade to 2.0. So yeah, enjoy that. You get that to look forward to. So let's pop out of the game again. I will do another jump cut. But yeah, so charms have been significantly nerfed. So just be aware of that. Okay, so we are now back and we will be going into the character changes. So up first is the Amazon. Arrow skills. Missile range for magic /fire /cold arrow and multi-shot was set to the same values. So those are just now, those skills are just going to be coinciding with each other. So just be aware. Magic arrow now gains some flat magic damage per skill point. So that's good, especially because in this version of the game, which is going to be way, way, way more harder, we're definitely going to need to have a little bit more damage. Magic, cold, and fire arrow now have +1 projectile per 3 levels of multi-shot. I like that. That's pretty nice. Magic, cold, and fire arrow now have reduced base physical damage to match multi-shot. Penetrate now provides 6% to enemy elemental resistances and -2% per hard point. So obviously I meant to say -6% to enemy elemental resist. I definitely like that. I've always loved -2 enemy elemental resists. Got to be my favorite stack. Moving on to the Barbarian, stun / tectonic slam, reworked to tectonic slam. Tectonic slam slams. Yeah, I couldn't figure that one out on my own. Your target and causes a shockwave that unearths the ground, damaging the target and enemies behind it. Yep, exactly. So tectonic slam cannot trigger leech effects, but it can proc chance to cast skills. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Let me know, Barbarian players. You like that, or do you think it's dumb? Let me know. I don't really think it's dumb. I think that's cool. Kind of sucks that it can't trigger leech, but oh well. I mean, at least it can trigger chance to cast. Tectonic slam requires a slam weapon. Slam weapons include two-handed swords, maces, axes, or staffs. Oh, you can do it with a staff? Wow. That's kind of interesting. Are there any rune words, guys, that will let you put that on any character? Or is this going to be something that's locked behind the Barbarian? That's something I'd really like to know. Added new seismic trail missile provided by Hindus 8633734 for Tectonic Slam. Wait, so is that like something they modded into it? Is that what's going on there? That's what it sounds like. All right, AR level. Oh, this is for Whirlwind, by the way. AR level were bumped to match Berserk and Tectonic Slam. Okay, that's cool. Concentrate AR level were bumped to match Berserk and Tectonic Slam. Okay, so both of those, I'm assuming, got a little bit of a buff just to match and be more on par with Tectonic Slam. Now, please don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% on which one's more powerful. Either way it is, either it got nerfed a little to bring it down to Slam or it got buffed a little to bring it up to Slam. So yeah, Druid, no changes because fuck Druids. Necromancer, Clay Golems, HP reduced to not cause overflow issues. Fire Golem, no longer damages enemies nearby periodically. Now provides bonus fire damage to nearby allies. Golem Mastery now improves the aura buff. Amplify damage, tooltip updated to match new linear scale. Decrepify, tooltip updated to match the decreased PDR and increased attack speed on Decrepify from 50% to 25%. Also impacts enemy curses. At least that impacts the curses too, and it's not just like something that will only affect your Necromancer. I kind of like that. This is one that I want to get into a lot here. The Sorceress, because obviously I'm a Sorceress player mainly, and I also know that Delgus over there has been working hard on the Sorceress to try to bring it up to par with other builds. We were talking in the live stream the other day that I did that he was like trying to figure out a way to get fire skills to be more in line with lightning and cold. And I think that it's really cool because I never play as a fire source. I'm sure there are those people out there that do, but it's never really felt like it would be a good idea for me to even do it because it always felt like it was just not nearly as powerful as the cold source or the lightning source. So let's see what has been changed. So cold, ice bolt, missile speed slightly increased. That's cool. Gotta like it. Okay. Can now fire up to 5 projectiles, 1 additional per 5 hard points. Damage synergies are now 20. Base damage increased by 1 min to 1 max and +1 per skill level threshold. Ice blast, missile speed slightly increased. Again, that's nice. Can now fire up to 5 projectiles. Same thing, but this one, the damage synergies are now 10. Base damage increased by 1 min and 1 max and +1 per skill level threshold. So same thing with Ice Bolt. So it sounds like Ice Bolt and Ice Blast are a little bit more similar now, but I've never really used either of those skills specifically as a base for a cold source. So I guess we'll see what happens. Glacial Spike, missile speed slightly increased. Can now fire up to 3 projectile, 1 additional per 8 hard points. Damage synergy is now 11, which is cool. Base damage increased by 1 min, 1 max, and +1 per skill level threshold. Why does it feel more like the cold source actually kind of got a buff? I mean, I'm not gonna complain, but it does feel like that, doesn't it, guys? Blizzard, cooldown reduced to 1 second. Wow. How is this supposed to make me not want to play a cold source, you know? Thank you. I love that. Frozen Orb, cooldown reduced to 0.6 seconds. Damage synergy is now 4. That is sweet. So it actually sounds like the cold sorceress is actually even better than it was before, which I gotta love, man. All right, so let's move on to the lightning sorcerers now. Lightning and chain lightning. Minimum damage updated from 1 to 1 2 3 4 5 6. So that point investment and all skill narrows the damage gap and makes the skill feel more consistent in higher level thresholds. So they're just making it closer to each other, it sounds like, for lightning and for chain lightning. Energy sealed, restored to Blizzard default of a maximum of 75% mana point to hit points conversion, down from the 44%. 20 hard points maxes out mana to HP conversion currently. Probably needs to be 100%, but left it vanilla for now. Yeah, it's funny you put that right under there, because that's exactly what I was thinking. I guess it is what it is for now. Thunderstorm added a mini nova on striking a target based on thunderstorm damage. I like that a lot. I really dig that, because for years Thunderstorm has been completely useless. Who actually uses Thunderstorm? Come on. Don't be that guy that's in the comments bullshitting, being like, "Oh bro, I've always made a Thunderstorm sorceress, man. They're the greatest." Dude, nobody uses Thunderstorm unless it's for a synergy thing, which I don't even think there is a synergy thing for Thunderstorm. Like, come on. I mean, I guess that's more for an enchant source, right? Thunderstorm. But that's cool though, because now you have a little mini nova on striking, which actually gives you a reason to actually go out and try to hit things more. So it makes it a little bit more of an active playstyle for the, I'm assuming, in the enchant sorcerers. Firebolt. Missile spread slightly increased. I like that. That's pretty nice. Can now fire up to 5 projectiles, 1 additional per 5 hard points. Yep, gotta love that too. That definitely makes Firebolt way more viable, and gives me a reason to maybe look into a fire source for the first time in the existence of Diablo 2. Firebolt, missile spread slightly increased, can now fire up to 3 projectiles, 1 additional per 8 hard points. Again, I would say that's a win. Firewall, cooldown reduced to 0.6 seconds. That's great. Meteor, cooldown reduced to 1 second. That is also great. I like this right here. So Hydra now shoots fireballs instead of firebolts. I really like that. I feel like it's always been Fireball, or it should have always been Fireball, to the point where I guess in my mind it was just always been Fireball, but I guess it was Firebolts. So it's the way my mind remembers it. To me, that's a Mandela effect. Let me know in the comments, man. Is that a Mandela effect to only me, or is there anybody else out there who could have sworn to God that Hydra was already shooting fireballs instead of firebolts? Because I really thought that's how it's been this whole time. Damage synergy is now 4. The Hydra change is a minor buff to council members in Act 3. Yeah, I would definitely say that is a buff. Which, man, again, I don't know if I agree with, because the council members, unless you're like level 97 or above, have always been really beefy and tanky, man. Like, I mean, sure, you could kill them relatively fast, but if they hit you, most of the time, you're dead. You're dead. Because Hydras hit hard, man. Especially for those council members. We are moving on now to mercenaries. So, added new Merc skill for Act 3, Merc based off the original Sorcerer skills. Okay, cool. Increased scaling for Charge Bolt, Lightning, Firebolt. Adjusted synergies to be based off of the skills the Merc learns. And Act 3 Merc no longer benefits from plus the Sorcerer skills. Only untagged plus to all skills, and untagged plus fire/cold/lightning skills. So if you were abusing that for some reason, unless it says all skills on whatever item it was that you were putting on that mercenary, then you can't do that anymore. But in my opinion, at least for me, it doesn't matter, because Act 2 Mercenary is where it's at, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people would agree with that. Cube recipes, no changes. Corruption orbs, no changes. Socket punch. Crafted items can now be used in socket punch recipes. Oh, that's cool. All right, yeah, I like that. Crafted item plus unique jewel, 1 to 6. Number of sockets desired based on number of unique jewels used. Base item and skill level still respected. All right, that is cool. But the only issue with that is the use of the unique jewels. Man, I get like no unique jewels whatsoever. So it's still going to be hard for you to do. It is really cool because I can totally see people making some godly items with this ability now that you can do this. But unique jewels are very hard to come by. So, I mean, unless they up the drop rate for those. I've literally found 3, guys. I have found 3 since I've started playing Diablo 2 Reimagined. And it kind of sucks because there is a lot of recipes for the cube that you actually need unique jewels for. I literally just used one of those recipes for the first time in a video that I put out a little while ago. One of my cube crafting recipes, one of those guide videos that I make, and it was to actually add durability to an ethereal item. But that was the first time I've been able to do that. So I really, really hope that we can find a better way to farm those, because it takes forever. Rune Management. And this first one right here I really like, and I don't really understand why it wasn't like this to begin with. I really feel like it probably should have been. But rune stacking. Cube a single rune to convert it to a rune stack, e.g. Zod rune equals a Zod stack. Now, I think that's great, and I really don't know why it wasn't like that, because I know a lot of people, when they first started playing Reimagined, probably tried that. Don't bullshit me. I guarantee there's a lot of people out there who tried that. You just put it into the cube, you hit the transmute button, nothing happened, and you're like, well, how the hell do I make rune stacks? So I really dig this because it's just very intuitive, and it kind of speaks for itself, right? And makes it easy for new players to understand rune stacks, because all they have to do is put it into the cube and hit a transmute button to see, oh, this is how I get the stack. So that is a win in my opinion. Cube a single rune with a rune stack to combine them, e.g. Zod stack equals Zod rune equals Zod stack 2. So my only question for that would be, before you could just drop the rune on top of the stack. So does this mean that we're going to the way where you're gonna have to put them in the cube to combine them from now on? Because I don't like that. If that is something that they changed right there, I don't like that at all, because that just adds a whole nother step that we got to do now to actually get those into the stack, right? So I'm iffy on that, I guess. And, well, it really just depends, man. You know, like if you can do it either way, then I'm fine with it. But if you're really gonna throw in an extra step for me like that, then I'm cool. I don't want it. I'm good. Okay, so rune unstacking. Cube a rune stack to create 1 rune. This is all pretty basic stuff. Don't think we need to go over that. So pretty easy to understand what's going on there. Rune upgrading requires 2 runes to create 1 rune higher. Now requires a Tome of Town Portal as an additional input. What? What? So are you saying that to upgrade runes now, we're gonna have to put a Tome of Town Portal and 2 runes to get the higher rune? Is that what that means? Because that seems a little unnecessary. Yeah, I don't get that. Cube 2 single runes with a Tome of Town Portal, e.g. 2 Burr runes, and it equals a Jaw rune. Yeah, why? Why? What? Yeah, why are you doing that? I don't get that at all. Please change it back. That's why just add an extra step like that? I'm not getting that one, man. I'm gonna ask him about that. That don't make no sense to me. A cube, a rune stack, and a Tome of Town Portal. So a charm stack equals a Zod rune. Why are you doing this to us, man? Come on, have a heart, bro. Have a heart. Jesus, bro. Like, Respect my time. Rune downgrading. Downgrading a rune yields 1 rune lower. Now requires an identify tone. Why, dude? What the hell, man? I'm sorry I'm sounding like a broken record right now, but this is just... I don't like this at all. I don't like this change whatsoever. I'm gonna bitch about that as much as I can and be a Kevin, because fuck that shit. Oh well. Anyways, same thing for everything I talked about there. You're gonna have to do with the identify scroll because they want to waste more of your time, I suppose. Other changes. Controller UI heraldic cube transmute button position is now equivalent to the mouse and keyboard on the lower right of the menu. And not a big deal. Extra bone spear added 2 wands and necro heads as a random affix for magic rare crafted. Okay, I'll take it. Extra holy bolt added the scepters and paladin shields as a random affix for magic rare and crafted. All right. Wait. Like plus 2 holy bolt, or you can have more holy bolts? Because that's pretty cool. If it's have more holy bolts, it might actually give you a reason to craft an item instead, like a scepter, instead of just making the rune words that you would need for it. Useful tooltips have been added to the gem bag, rune/gem stacks, and gem key grabbers to make them easier to understand. That's great, because I know a lot of people get confused about that kind of stuff, so I think it's needed. I think it's warranted. Good stuff. Rune and gem stacks have been renamed to stack/X to make it easier to identify a stack, in addition to the plus sign. Okay, alright. Yeah, just makes it easier. Alright. Yeah, that's fine. Bug fixes. Cleaned up a couple of capitalization errors in item properties. Oh, and by the way, there was something I noticed a while ago, but I think they should be fixed now. There was a few rune words where there was a code error or something, for example, in distortion, that it gave you plus to an evil force, which I don't even know what that is, if it even is a thing, but it was supposed to give you plus the warp. So I'm assuming a lot of those have been fixed. I know at least the one of distortion has been fixed. So I think we can at least look forward to that. And more grammatical error stuff that obviously needs to get fixed here and there. Not really a big deal. Added bone spear projectile affix name. Resistance stat update to facilitate Sunder Charm introduction. Saves, yeah, it breaks your save games, which is why you're not going to be able to actually take your characters and port them over to the new version of Diablo 2 Reimagined. One of many reasons. But again, it sucks to have to tell people this, but yeah, we're going to have to start over again. Fixed stash appearing half and half out of the screen on classic characters while using a controller. Or I don't really know anything about that because, you know, PC Master Race. Fixed gold withdrawal button and gold amount overlapping and appearing in the wrong locations on both classic and expansion characters while using your controller. Again, if you don't want to run into those errors, then get yourself a PC. If you play Diablo 2, why do you not have a PC yet? Unless it's just you want to play it on the go and you're playing on Steam Deck or something, which is very understandable. A lot of people do it. Hell, I do it myself. But again, PC Master Race. Orb of assemblage and conversion will now properly drop. All right, sick. So you can actually find those. I'm assuming that must have been a bug in there somewhere where they either weren't dropping as frequently as they should have, or they weren't dropping at all. I know that I've seen a lot of people in the Discord saying things like that they didn't see those drops. I've had people in the streams come in and be like they've never seen an orb of conversion before, which kind of blows my mind because it's always worked for me. So I don't know if it's because I'm me, and for some reason that time I actually got lucky, but it's always worked for me, so it should work for you guys now. Looks like that's about all, and I can tell that this video is probably going to be a little bit longer than I thought it would, because there actually is quite a bit of changes that have come now to the game, but I am still excited to play the 2.0 version of the game when it is finally released. I hope anybody who is here watching at this point is also looking forward to it. And if you are new to my channel and you made it this far, please go ahead and hit the sub button for me. I'm trying to get to 1,000 now because I want to beat one of my friends to 1,000 so I can rub it in his face, because he's always been a jerk to me even though we're friends. Well, okay, no, maybe not, but yeah, just hit the button anyways. Just do it for me, bro. So until the next video, late.